Shalom, everyone. This is Rabbi Shlomo Katz, and you're listening to The Soul of Israel on the landofisrael.com, on the landofisrael.com network. Another beautiful Tuesday morning here in Efrat in the Judean Hills. And the privilege of hearing from so many of you this past week has filled me with gratitude. And before anything, I really just want to continue. I want to reinforce and encourage you all to share your hearts. Even if I can't get back to all of you during the week, it's there, and I'll get back to it at a certain point. It's been a tremendous week of hearing from so many of you from last week. So I thank you and hope that we continue to enjoy this ride together. Shalom uvracha, my dear brother, Rabbi Aryeh Abramowitz.
Shalom aleichem, Rav Shlomo.
How are you, my friend?
Baruch Hashem.
How's it feeling out there on the hill in this interesting winter? Not a crazy winter, but
there's moments of real crazy.
Right.
Real crazy. Like the pergola on top of the Zimmer blew right off.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, just ripped things apart. But most of the winter it's been relatively mild. Yesterday there was really nice blessing-like rain. You know what I mean? Sometimes there's blessing rain, sometimes there's rain that feels like Hashem is saying, I want to give you bracha, but I'm not super, super happy with you. So it's going to be a little bit harsh, but it's still rain.
Right.
Yesterday was like an even-keeled blessing-like rain.
Okay, beautiful. It should continue, and even more than that.
Amen.
Bezrat Hashem. So, we're on the brink of redemption right now in the Torah portions that we're reading. But to illustrate something that happens to us right before we truly become free people, I got to share with you about a beautiful kiddush that happens in our neighborhood. There's a dear friend of ours, his name is Binyamin Simon. You know Binyamin Simon. He came with us to the Ukraine. Binyamin does a really sweet, chilled out kiddush in his house right after Shabbos, right after Sabbath services every Saturday morning.
Excellent herring.
Oh, you've been there? Yeah.
I just went there a couple of weeks ago.
That's
I was
right.
there for Shabbat.
Excellent herring, fine wine, but more than anything, just really good chevra, good company. And I knew about the kiddush for a while. For whatever the reason was, it didn't happen. I wasn't able to attend. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to put everything aside. I'll even come home a few minutes later. I'm sure my wife will understand. I'm going to go once. Loved it. And then I went the following week, and it was awesome. And when I went that second week, so my friend said to me, one more time, and you got to stay here. Now, I actually, it hasn't happened yet that I went again, but what's that whole thing about when someone says that by the third?
Chazaka?
Right. What does that mean?
That's a good question.
Right, it's a word we say.
If you've done something 3 consecutive times,
right.
That means that it's now part of you. And if you were to stop doing it, you have to, some people say to do a hatarat nedarim, annul a vow almost.
Right.
But I never thought really beyond that.
Right, chazaka. Well, I never thought either, but it really does. It binds you to something.
It means strengthening.
With strength. So I want to read for you a pasuk that has a chazaka in our parsha. And you tell me what the word is that's 3 times. החודש הזה לכם ראש חודשים ראשון הוא לכם לחודשי השנה.
Chodesh.
Chadash. The word
okay.
of new shows up in 3 different forms in one pasuk. החודש הזה לכם ראש חודשים ראשון הוא לכם לחודשי השנה. The word month in Hebrew also means, it comes from the language of new, to renew yourself, renewal. It's very interesting. That means that there must be some kind of hint here, that, and this is basically the first mitzvah that we're told to keep as a people, and that's the sanctification of the new month, the new moon. It's called Kiddush HaChodesh, sanctifying the month. But what it really, really points us to is a key ingredient in the procedure of becoming free. And what's that? Renewal. Without the act of hitchadshut, of becoming chadash, you could take the boy out of Egypt, but Egypt never leaves the boy, ever. To renew yourself, it's one of the most difficult things in the world. But this is how the Chassidic masters understand the first mitzvah in the Torah. About sanctifying the new moon, the new month, really comes from the language of sanctifying renewal, becoming new.
And it must be central and primary if it's the first mitzvah that's given to us.
And even more so is that it's one of the few mitzvot that our sages teach us that Moshe Rabbeinu had a hard time understanding how to do it. There are a few mitzvahs like this. The other one has to do with shkalim, with with money. There are a few mitzvahs also with the menorah, the construction of the menorah, of the candelabra.
That Moshe did not really understand.
It says, Nitkasha Moshe Rabbeinu. He wasn't certain if he understood the instructions clearly. So specifically when it comes to the new moon, this new month, Moshe Rabbeinu has a hard time understanding. Now, the sages teach us that Moshe Rabbeinu then was shown by God one ray of light and said, Kazeh re'eh v'kadesh. See this? This is what I'm talking about. You see this one ray of light? This means that you have to sanctify the new month. Now let's use our Gemara cups. What is so hard for Moshe Rabbeinu to understand? How is it possible for a person to renew himself? How is that possible? We are so finite on one level, where yesterday is usually our greatest slave driver. And the Baal Shem Tov said those words exactly. He said, usually we live in a realm of yesterday. For instance, if I asked you, Ari, right now, how are you feeling? Most of what you're feeling is not based on what transpired in your life since this morning. Right now it's 10 a.m. You're not going to answer me based on, you woke up at 5 for right? To chop wood for a widow, and then you prayed for right?
Right.
Okay. Whatever it is. You woke up a few hours ago.
You're right. I'm thinking what you're saying is totally true.
You're not going to answer me based on what happened to you now.
In isolation today, right.
You're more or less going to identify what you're going through based on what yesterday was. Now, I'm not trying to point you out on this. It's me, it's everyone. That's slave mentality. Hitchadshut, renewal, really means that I believe that who I am today and the person that woke up into today's world has nothing to do on a binding level to whatever happened to me yesterday. And before we left Egypt, God had to give us this mitzvah and saying, listen, I'm about to take you on a crazy trip. But understand something. If you don't tune into Koach HaHitchadshut, you're not going to figure out how to maintain this freedom, and freedom won't mean anything to you. So let's look back in the pasuk now. HaChodesh hazeh lachem. This month for you is Rosh Chodashim, is the beginning of months. Rishon hu lachem lechodshei hashana. It's the first month of the year from you. And on the pshat, in the simple way of understanding the pasuk, what month is that referring to? Nisan. Nisan is the first of the months. It was referring to the first day of the month of Nisan. But the way we're learning it right now is Yidden, the power to renew, that's something I'm giving to you. That's how you begin to leave Egypt. That's how you continue to leave Egypt. And that's what will bring you to the Holy Land, renewal. Says the Mea Shiloach, the Rebbe of Ishbitz, one of our favorite teachers. He says, when it says, HaChodesh hazeh lachem, that this new month, the newness is for you, he means I'm giving you the koach, not just to renew yourself, but even to be able to lechadesh divrei Torah, which is very, very deep.
Wow.
How do you understand that, Ari? What hits you right away?
Ultimate power of creation.
Correct.
Right? The Torah is the blueprint of creation. So it's not just ourselves, it's reality.
Correct.
It's the fabric from which all is created.
They're right. That's exactly it. Which you think you have no access to.
Right, you're the recipient, not a participant of the creation.
And here God is saying, if you know how to master yourself on the level of renewal, what else can you renew? You can go inside of the inside. It was Rabbi Nachman of Breslov who taught that the greatest thing, or one of the most important things about Avodat Hashem, is to constantly renew yourself. And he once said that he had to renew himself a few times a day. Now, what does that mean? Because not only are yesterdays our greatest slave masters, the concept of the past is a slave master. So if you have a bad morning, you're doomed to probably have a bad afternoon. Not because the afternoon is bad, but it's because your experience of what you just went through dictates to you that this is how it has to be. Mm. So what is this really telling us? It says, Mekadesh Yisrael v'azmanim, you sanctify Israel and the times. Something about us is capable of ascending above the concept of time. Time is dictating. time should be freeing. You have more time to do something. You have more time to discover. Generally, time is what basically puts us in more of a prison. We have more time to, is it the right word, wallow in our, is that the right word?
Yeah, wallow.
Wallow in our shortcomings of what happened yesterday, 2 minutes ago, 2 hours ago, v'chule, v'chule. It won't work like that. That's not the way that this thing is going to work. The initiation of Yiddishkeit is the concept of sanctifying time and becoming new, becoming renewed again. Now, let's go back to Moshe Rabbeinu having a hard time understanding what this is all about. Moshe Rabbeinu turns to God and he says, really? Is it possible to feel new? Tachlis. The way we look alludes to the fact that we're old. We don't look new. Usually we look older. We look on a time level. It's like our bodies and our time clocks are aligned, right? We don't look new. We look the same, just a little bit older. We don't look new and different. So Moshe says to God, how is it possible to do this? God says to him, Kazeh re'eh v'kadesh. Moshe Rabbeinu, I'm showing you one ray of light. The old you says that life is only worth celebrating when you have a full picture, a full moon, full light. It's not the way Jews sanctify time. All you need is one ray of light. All you need is one moment of feeling different. You need one aspect of your life that you could say about that. Yeah, field of opportunities right there. What was the Kevin Costner movie called?
Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams, thank you. Whose Fields of Opportunity? I think that's maybe a Sting song. Anyway, I'm diverting. But what the teaching there is that God is saying to Moshe Rabbeinu, usually an old person says, unless the full me, the whole package is changed, nothing's new. That's what we really say. That's a perversion of the concept of renewal. The Jewish concept of renewal is based on one ray of light. And when you focus on one ray of light coming out of you, of possibility of new, then suddenly you realize, oh, there's another ray that's also available to renew. There's another area in my life. There's another aspect in my life. What did we have in Egypt while we were slaves? No possible renewal aspect. What does the slave do? What he's commanded to do on his own. Does he have any say? He has nothing. How does a slave look at his morning when he wakes up? Today's like yesterday, and tomorrow will be like today. So he even loses the concept of dreaming or of paying attention to new rays of light that shows up in his life. So my question to you, Rabbi Abramowitz, and I'm putting you on the spot, is, have we mastered the art of renewal?
Well, I clearly have a room to master further, because when I'm thinking of this, very often, I would say 2 to 3 times a week, I go to the mikveh. The mikveh, to me, when I immerse in that body of like rainwater that according to Jewish law is like the mikveh, I feel like that's a renewal because it's a total immersion. My head is under water, my feet are off the ground, I'm totally immersed like a baby, immersed in amniotic fluid within the womb. And these are visualizations that I do, and I actually emerge feeling renewed.
Right.
But this is a very different, it's the opposite. It's the opposite side of the spectrum. It's saying you don't need to be totally immersed. Just find that one ray.
Right.
And you can swim all the way to the other side.
Why is it so hard for us to believe that?
It's hard to believe.
Yeah, why is that? That's really what I wanted to get to today.
I think because the illusion of this world is so compelling, and because we're human beings with a physiology. For example, last night I went to a friend's birthday party, and I ate not so great, which caused me to sleep not so great, which when you're saying how are you feeling, is it has totally has to do, not even so much with yesterday, what you did from like the evening on totally dictates the next day. And it's hard to say, okay, new guy.
Right.
Okay, that was not so compelling an argument. So I think that's the reason we're people.
So how would we be able to really feel that we could justifiably say, okay, new guy?
Because I'm set in my ways. I'm thinking mikvah.
Right,
right. That's what it does.
But okay, but that's an element, meaning we have these ezers, we have these aids that help us to get there. But if I know that tomorrow will be very much affected by today, I could prepare today to be that tomorrow will be free.
Instead of looking backwards, you
Correct. You
turn the Zavit to look forward.
Yeah. Now, they were never able to do that in Egypt. There was no forward. There was only backwards. The power of renewal is changing the angle and direction to how you look and experience life.
That's a game changer. Yeah.
And then everything about your day becomes a preparation for the possibilities and opportunities, not just of tomorrow, but really of right now.
And from that perspective, this Wednesday night, it's a little bit like a Rosh Hashanah. We can use the new month as an opportunity for a real hard reboot.
Correct. Rabbi Nachman speaks about
forwards,
this
very
much. He says that these heads of months, these Rosh Chodesh that we're given, he refers to it as it's always a zman of tshuva, time of tshuva. When doesn't a person do tshuva? When he doesn't think that it'll work. Why wouldn't a person think that it'll work? Won't work? Because of yesterday.
Damage done.
Damage is done. However, we have the new month, the new ray, the new light, the koach of hitchadshut that says, if God is God and God set up the way that the world works on a time level the way He did, there's never, ever, ever an experience in life that can't be felt as new. If it's a very pagan concept to say that what is, or to not understand Shlomo HaMelech, where he says, "Ein chadash tachat hashemesh." I think you brought this up last week, that there's nothing new beneath the sun. It's true. Beneath the sun, there's nothing new. Tshuva goes above than the sun. It's true that beneath the sun, within the confines of time and space, there's nothing new. But a soul ascends to that place that's higher than that. And over there, yesh rak chadash. It's only new. In Egypt, en chadash tachat hashemesh. It's true. Geula, different ballgame.
Wow.
And that's why as we're leaving Egypt, God puts a chazaka on us. HaChodesh hazeh lachem roshei chodashim, rishon hu lachem lechodshei hashana. The power of renewal must be something that's engraved within us. It's not the power of... it doesn't mean that God made us into perfect beings when we left Egypt. But He's saying, listen, you're going to need to keep on revamping, rebooting, restarting. That's the way that anything in this world goes. But I'm going to give you that koach to do that through the first mitzvah that you're going to receive as a people. The koach of kiddush halevana, of sanctifying the new moon. I'm sure there are a lot of people that are listening to us and they're saying the following thing: "Oy, I wish that could be me. I wish I was that person." But whatever the excuse is, as legitimate as it may be, I have no magic formula for any of you friends. I can only say, Imachem anochi betzara. I feel that pain with you. I could identify with it to a great extent, fortunately or unfortunately. All my friend Ari and I can do from here, from the heart of the world, from the center of renewal, which really is Jerusalem, we're sending brachas and love, blessings and love, and strength and encouragement to tap into that place of your soul which is above the concept of time. That place in your soul that does not allow yesterday to be your greatest slave master. And that place in your soul that knows that that first mitzvah with which I left Egypt remains the most crucial mitzvah of my life. Koach ha'hitchadshut. Power to renew yourself. Please reach out to us, shlomo@landofisrael.com, ari@landofisrael.com. Let's continue the conversation in between sessions, and may it be a fruitful, peaceful, and glorious rest of your week.